Talk, Doc, a little bit, if you could, about, is there a specific moment in your life where your faith took on a more significant, it held more significance just in terms of...
Sure. It was very much like Mike in that I was raised in a family. My mother was a preacher's daughter, and my dad also was raised in a Christian family, so it was just normal for us that my brother and I would be in church with them every Sunday. And I think I was 8 or 9 years old, and we had a series of meetings at our church, and after one of them, I went up to the person, not at the urging of my mother, but she went up with me to, give me some confidence, I guess. And I spoke with the speaker after, and we went in back, and he asked me, do you read? And of course I did. And he said, let's look at 1 John and start with the first few verses. So I read those, and he wanted to make sure that even at that age that I understood what a commitment for Christ was going to be. And I felt I understood it, and we shook hands, and that was it. I think the testing time always comes as the years go on. Not only the bad times, but the good times. And there have been a lot of those. I've been very blessed that way. But, when you get a phone call in Montreal and you're 2 days away from getting back home and you hear you have cancer, you don't phone home right away. You don't phone news like that in. You live with it for a while. And that was one of the more striking times that I think I was sure glad that at 8 or 9 I shook hands.
Doc, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the most important person in your life, your wife Joyce of over 30 years. Talk a little bit about, we understand how hectic, how busy a schedule like yours can be. How do you preserve and strengthen a relationship that important to you? How do you keep it so loving, given your circumstances?
Yeah, because you are gone a lot. And I think it's an old line, but I think communication is one thing. We text each other back and forth. Well, cleared security, even something like that. I think, phone calls at the end of the day are one thing, but just at least acknowledging what's going on and communicating back and forth during the day. We occasionally go to films, talkies, and we try to make the most of the time that we do have. And then in the summer, we take camping trips. We have 2 little dogs, and she loves horses, so we have horses to tend to as well. And I think when you're around God's creatures, it actually does also strengthen your bond as a family and your faith. We met at a young singles thing at our church, and I was assigned to call a whole bunch of people to invite them to it. She was not one that I called, but I was sure glad she showed up that day.